How many years for the Jubilee now? Can't remember, can we?
I think it's about 27, 28.
What made you start this in the first place?
I felt the history was being lost. And I felt for generations, especially of young people, it was not sufficient just to come and have a march. At the time, SCLC was marching every 5 years. But most children didn't even know why we were marching because this history is not taught in schools. It's not even taught at home. Even the people that were on this bridge in 65 don't even tell the stories to their own children. That's why every year we've usually written a book, some for children. So the Jubilee was an attempt to have such a variety of activities that there would be something for everybody. But each activity designed to bring this history home, but more importantly, to inspire people to keep working for voting rights and human rights.
So the Jubilee and, of course, the National Voting Rights Museum, which is incredible. Hillary Clinton just took a tour there. You need money and support, don't you?
It's going to close if we don't get it. Literally. I introduced Secretary Clinton to two powerful women. One keeps that museum alive. She's a volunteer. How long can you expect a person to work as a volunteer? The other museum is kept alive by Miss Avery, 75 years old, who was the only woman arrested here in 65, but came back to Selma to try to keep this history alive. So the Jubilee will not even be here. I mean, people might show up and just march on Sunday, but all the activities, the workshops, all the things that are done, the women's conference to inspire people and to teach people, those things won't be here unless people step up to the plate and do something very special. So I was so happy this year to have a young person like Jessica Baker, who I didn't even know her. She just stepped up to the plate. And when I went to the women's conference, there were about 8 powerful young women there. Powerful. And that's my hope, that people from around the country will take a part of this Jubilee and say, you know what, like the Legal Defense Fund, I'm going to be responsible for legal education. I'm going to be responsible for voter education. I'm going to be responsible for youth involvement. I'm going to be responsible to make sure the labor issues are addressed, because every issue is a voting issue. So that's my vision, that this Jubilee will become owned by people of goodwill and consciousness around the country.
We appreciate your work and all you've done to keep this alive.
And I appreciate the work you've done to help me keep it alive.
I don't know. We've been working hard all day, y'all, marching and whatnot.
Hey.
5 rows here. We're here on the. Oh, before we go, Edmund Pettus. Who was Edmund Pettus?
Grand Dragon of the Ku Klux Klan. I noticed the surprise on Secretary Clinton's face, and I asked her to talk to John Lewis and to talk to Congressman Sewell, our Congresswoman, because I think it's a lack of understanding that you cannot honor a terrorist, and that's who Edmund Pettus was. As the most powerful Klan leader in Alabama, he sanctioned and supported the violence against innocent citizens, even the rape and lynching. So there's no reason why this bridge should be named. Young people from around the country came up with a plan to have this bridge renamed the Bridge to Freedom. I don't think it should be named after any one individual, because too many individuals supported it. So Edmund Pettus was not a good man.
Folks, we're going to pledge ourselves to raise money for the Jubilee, for the National Voting Rights Museum, for the Slavery Museum. We need to do that. We got to get us a text to give number where people text small dollar donations. So we're going to get all that organized.
And because of the bad weather, we weren't even able to make any money from the Gospel Tribute, the festival. This is certainly going to be economically one of our worst, but spiritually, I think God tested us and we passed the test. We were able to lay down on that bridge, and in spite of the
just so people clear, to explain why people laid down, there was a lay down on the bridge, y'all.
Yes. Well, this is the 400th anniversary of the beginning of the most horrific slavery in human history. Jamestown, 1619, there's 2019. But there's a second reason, because in 1965, people were knocked down on that bridge. by horses and tear gas and billy clubs. So symbolically, it's like saying, yes, you knocked us down, and yes, you, through voter suppression and the gutting of the Voting Rights Act, you knocked down the Voting Rights Act. And that's symbolic of being knocked down, but we also got up with a manifesto committing to fight hard to restore and to secure voting rights. So it's symbolically, historically, but also in terms of the vision we have for democracy in this country. We will rise up, and when we rise up with our theme, Lift Our Vote 2000, 30 organizations or more came together collectively over the past 2 months and committed to this campaign to do everything within our individual and collective power to maximize voter education and voter participation. And that's what we mean when we rise up. So sometimes in order to rise up, you gotta lay down. Yeah.
Fire Rose, Sanders, Toure here. We're here in Selma at the Bridge to Freedom.
Yes, that's the new name, Bridge to Freedom.
Amen. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, young man, for coming.